All right. Hey. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so I have a really weird thing going on here. Let me see if I can fix it a little bit. Hello everybody. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. Um, Give me a second. I'm gonna try this and see if that works. Did that fix it? Okay, we're gonna assume that it did. Well, now y'all can finally see the chat, and you can engage in your mind with all of the questions coming in and everybody saying stuff. So, hi. I have a confession to make. I was spying on you. I was spying on chat as y'all were having fun chatting. Yeah, it's just like I'm so happy so a lot of you could make it for this one. It is potentially our last one because reasons. Oh yes, finger. Look at so this little guy. I'm right-handed. This is my right hand, and this knuckle was like twice the size. It was thicker than my thumb on my left hand. That was no bueno. But now we have full mobility again. Yay! I'm doing very well, seeing all of your wonderful, lovely usernames. It's so wonderful to see y'all. You can. Uh, actual school is way less useful. I'm glad to hear it. Kind of stay in school, um, and yeah, it is moving. So, can we see the chat well, or do we want bigger font? I think I'm gonna go ahead and make it just a little bit bigger. And yeah, so isn't it great? Y'all can actually um see the chat now. Doing lovely. How are all of you? Hope you're having a great day. For the Q&A, you can ask anything you want. Doesn't have to be writing advice, can be anything that doesn't involve me giving away personal information that enables you to dox me one day. So, without further ado, let's get started on, yes, I'm ready for class. Who's ready for class, children? It is time. Please take your seats, get out your notebooks and your pens. We're gonna be we're winging it today. Sorry, I figured maybe that'll be more fun and force me to stay on topic better. The more pressure, the better. Pencil and paper, let's go. Okay, we're starting with talking about world building. This was a really great question that somebody posted in the discussion forum, asking basically, should you know as much as possible before you dive into drafting your book? That answer is a big fat NO, means no. Let me try to switch tabs here. I'm going to reference something that I always reference, which is the TKC world building document. Kind of infamous if you've been around here for long enough. TKC's world building all started in a Google Doc that I transferred over to Word because I didn't like Google Doc with its AI scraping to have access to this stuff. So I'm glad all of y'all are prepared for class. Good job. I've marked you all present, especially those who made it early. Why you should not know every single possible thing that you can about your world building document is if you get a giant document like this with all of the information. Here's a fantastic example. TKC's world technically has months that are based off of our own, but they never show up in the book. And it's a nice little detail, like fun fact trivia, but again, it's extra information I'm storing in my brain now that I never ended up putting into the actual book. And so what does this mean? Well, when you have too much information about your world in your document ahead of time, then you're gonna be storing that extra information for no good reason. It's going to take attention away from the story that you actually should be telling, take attention away from the elements you should be focusing on. All in all, just don't, the best piece of writing advice to this day that I've ever heard is plan until you know just enough. Let me put this in the oh no, I've forgotten everything about Word document. I've been on Scrivener for so long. Here's big advice, right here, very informally. Plan until you know just enough. That means any questions that you have right off the bat, think about going through the story step by step. What kind of information do you need to know? Well, you're probably going to mention the names of the cities and the towns and even the castles if you're doing a fantasy or a kingdom story. You're probably going to mention those things at least once in your book, and you ought to know where these characters are amid their story. So probably got to figure that out. Do you need to know the exact building materials that these kingdoms are constructing all of their buildings with? I mean, you could, but I don't know if it's the most necessary. Do you have to know the names of every single civilian in that kingdom? I certainly hope not. That would be quite a laborious book to write. You want to keep room in your head for the elements and details that matter, that enhance the story. Do you have to know everything about your story right off the bat, even as the author? Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes it's a good idea, but again, it's like in my opinion, the only thing that a writer needs to know every single thing about regarding their story is context, whether that be emotional or physical. What I mean by emotional context is having a good sense of the dynamics right off the bat. You know the kind of characters that you're going to be dealing with. You know the kind of situations and tension or fluffy moments that you're going for. Emotional context does so much to enrich in a story and your prose as you go into it, rather than going into it cold turkey. So that's the advice I have when it comes to world building. You want to plan until you know just enough, as in you don't want to be like our good friend Orion, also known as Professor Patel. He is half Indian, by the way, so we're good. It's not racist. We're just laughing at ourselves, laughing at him. He's working on a very high fantasy book right now, and he tried drafting it recently, and he did not know enough about the world. He immediately got stuck after the first one or two paragraphs. And he's like, I gotta remember stuff. TKC, on the other hand, as you can see, I planned everything out to the T, from the levels to what happens to the artifacts to what the artifacts do to every possible thing about the characters. It's like even the side characters have backstories, by the way. This was too much. I kept getting stuck on TKC even though I had everything planned out, because my brain kept getting stuck on, wait a minute, I know this piece of information, but where is it? Or sometimes even I know this piece of information, but I never wrote it down. Don't focus on knowing everything. Don't even focus on knowing, like, good enough. Focus on knowing enough, period. Okay, let's get into chat, sorry. Okay, wait. I did not read chat that entire time. Let's take a quick break from that. Mila note page. Okay, Katie. Get that fancy page right there. An entire language you wrote for your different villages. Great example. If your characters are speaking in a completely made up language, particular to just your world, and you have scenes where they're of course engaging in that language, you should probably know that information. Now, do you have to be completely fluent in that language to where you can speak it to anybody you see in real life? Probably not. Just enough for your book and story to flow and to be written. Wrote an entire language that wasn't included in the book. I mean, some people do that as a hobby, Frankie Clark, so yeah, had fun. If you had fun, then that's what matters. Wow, a lot of y'all writing languages, which is funny because I was just thinking about how I don't understand how people do this, because I could never. I don't understand. My brain does not work that way. I don't think even if I took a whole class on it, I could ever come up with a whole language. Your character taking classes, forming exposition, that can be a really sneaky and subtle way to integrate world building and lore. I would just be careful because, well, as somebody said earlier, they much prefer this class than real life school. You don't want to make your readers feel that way. You don't want them to make them feel like they are in class or in school. So you gotta know how to handle the balance between writing classes so that you can teach your reader, but also balance the story alongside it. I know, okay, so sometimes I'm underprepared because you love improvising and finding out as I go, but it leaves you with shallow writing, which was my biggest issue, and that's why when TKC's idea came to me, I'm like, I'm planning this whole thing out to the D. I ain't taking no risks. But then my writing became pretty rigid and felt like it was following a rule, which in a way it was. It was my first time plotting. It was my first time planning everything. So it does take it takes a lot of practice. It takes some getting used to, finding the feel for it. That's okay. 22,500 words. Good job. That is amazing. Passing the 10K mark period is amazing. Making you learn word. It's a good skill to have. As like iffy as my relationship is with word, it's a good skill to have. All right. struggle with buildings, yeah, so that's a good point actually. If you struggle with any particular part of writing, such as setting description or architecture description, plant description, just anything like that, any weak spots, you probably want to plan a little bit more so in that area so that you can become more familiar with it and get that context in that mental context going in your brain so that you can flow a lot more easily when you go into writing and drafting. Okay, so that's what I have for world building. Did that answer? I think whatchamacallits, you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong, if you were the one who asked that question. But do we have any questions on world building and how much we should know prior to that, before you draft? Oh, cool, so it was whatchamacallits, okay, cool. Or what, I hope you were saying thank you to that. Oh, a tip to differentiate between character personalities. How would they decline an offer? Yes! In fact, we talked about this in our last session with characterization. It's the super niche questions like that that will help you differentiate between two different characters. Nice to know to have a bunch of homeschooled folks in here. Emma feels represented. I forgot to mention Q&A questions we're gonna answer at the end, just because I want to get through class first, and then Parker, are you asking to what extent do I build my world, or just generally speaking? Because how I build my world is a totally, I'll save that for the end. Public school is pretty cool, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna homeschool my kids one day, not gonna lie. Public school also scares me. Let me see. Are y'all able to answer? Oh, perfect. Okay. So if y'all have any questions for the Q&A, no matter what they be about, just see if you can click the questions tab in the chat and then ask them directly there so that I don't lose anybody's questions. Okay. So that's moving on from world generally speaking. Okay, so that's like what we just talked about, to the extent you just plan until you know just enough. Yeah, a lot of questions, y'all. So if you can, just put those in the Q&A, and I will get to them afterwards so that we're not constantly like stop and go, and we can just get the lesson. I don't know how else to call it, but thank you, Jem. I take great pride in that. Okay, so next one was a very, it was very interesting. I never thought I would be the one to give advice on this, but it was actually getting your copyright and ISBNs figured out. I'm gonna switch tabs here again. Welcome to everybody's favorite, the U.S. Copyright Office website. I don't know anything about international copyright, so if you're in another country, I apologize, but this is how all of us in the US do this. Let's start with why do you want to copyright your story? You want to copyright your story because, yes, while you have a copyright page in the beginning of the book, which is also what we're going to talk about, that copyright page, as far as I know, only copyrights your actual writing, your prose itself, so that if anybody plagiarizes it, bam, you show them that copyright page, you're getting sued, you're probably going to win the lawsuit. However, if somebody were to steal your general idea for your book, that copyright page isn't going to save you. I'm not going to lie. It's going to do very, very little, if anything at all. Always have a copyright page, but therefore, how do we stop people from stealing our book ideas? Well, we go to the US Copyright Office website and we click this little tab here called registration and register your work registration portal. This is what's going to register your work, the writing, the idea, all of it. It covers all grounds and copyrights it federally. So what you're gonna do, you go to this, literally just search up US Copyright Office. It's going to be the first link that comes up on Google or whatever search browser you have. You're going to end up on that homepage, go to registration, click down, register your work registration portal. You're gonna scroll down a little bit and click log into the Electronic Copyright Office registration system, because this is a federal website and they love to make everything sound as long as possible. Then you're gonna wait about 5 minutes before it gives you all these warnings. This is serious stuff. So you're gonna be taken to this registration portal, and I'm gonna stop here in terms of visuals because nobody's gonna get my copyright login information. I'm not taking any chances. But you're going to obviously create an account if you are a new user, and after that I'm wondering if I can show y'all how to do it, because it's kind of a straightforward process. You just you make your own account, you get into your portal, and then you select a work that you'd like to register. Let me see, do we want me to try to get into my portal? I'll like cover the login part, but I might be able to log in and show y'all what the homepage looks like. Oh, nice, Rebecca, great job. Your book is in the copywriting stage. Then this is right up your alley. No wonder you asked this question. Frankie, we're just talking about copyright. Yeah, sorry, Akila, I don't know how to copyright internationally, but your country might have a very similar website. You could probably just search up like any country copyright office if that's how y'all do it there. And yeah. So, great question, Katie. You do not have to have the book published before it can be copyrighted. In fact, I think it's more highly recommended to copyright the book once it's written, because you do want to have it written, but you want to make sure that this thing is copyrighted before you publish, because, well, it'll take about, hello. It'll take about, I think it's 3 to 6 weeks to receive the paper copyright, which is really nice to have, of course, but it does take the office time to go through every single application and register each work, and that's even if you pass registration in the application process, which you usually do, but you never know, something could always pop up. It does take time, and anything can happen between the day you publish your book and then afterward. No worry, Jen, we're probably still gonna be live by the time you leave, so let me see. Where did chat go? Chat is still here. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Written as in not the outline stage. You want to have an actual manuscript because you have to write. You want to have it's all coming back to me now. You want to have an actual manuscript because you have to submit that manuscript to the Copyright Office. So in that case, you want to send the Copyright Office as close to an updated draft as possible. Get as close to your final draft as possible. Best case scenario is your final draft. It's just that once you have your final draft, and you submit it to the Copyright Office, you can't publish it, or you shouldn't publish it between the time you submit it and the time you're waiting to the time you get your copyright in. Because you want to get that draft of your book copyrighted with the federal office. That's how we protect it. Oh, I'm so happy you're getting TKC for your birthday. Thank you so much for adding it to your list. And yeah, so that's with copywriting your book on a federal level to really protect it, because if anybody steals your book or you're writing from the book, you can easily take them to court. They're gonna have the federal copyright pulled right up there in their records. You're gonna win that case easily. It's just like, how likely is that to actually happen? Not very, of course, but when you are indie, you gotta protect yourself in all corners. Now, how to get a copyright page in your book, you literally look that up. That's what we all did. That is what we all did. Kindlepreneur is actually a really great source that I've been enjoying. Yeah, let's see. This is a great article if you want, straight up. And then, bam, you can just copy and paste this entire thing into your book. These days, I highly recommend that y'all add an AI disclaimer, or not an AI disclaimer, but AI prohibition clause in your copyright page, basically saying that no AI, no AI training is allowed from your work, prohibiting bots and whatever from using your work if they get a hold of it online to train their AIs based on your writing, based on your work. Ooh, a powerless Red Queen. Yeah, even that was so big that I've read neither book, but even I heard about that. You really just want to protect yourself at all stages. Frankie Clark, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the Q&A part so that I don't lose your questions, because I'm trying to get to the topics that people voted for the actual class session. There you go, NR. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube Live, but yeah. So Rebecca, this was your question. Do you have, it is a thing, Sketchy Parker. It is a thing now because, well, we gotta do that. And if you want to take it in the extra step further, because a lot of readers have trust issues, understandably so, you could also put technically in your copyright page that no generative AI was used to create any part of this book. The Q&A part, if you go to the chat and you click in the top left corner of the live chat, there should be an arrow that says top, and then brings down a menu that says top chat, live chat, questions, and then fan funding. Click questions and you can submit your questions there. But yeah, sorry, Rebecca, this was your question. Does that answer everything you had about copyright? Because next we're gonna get into the ISBNs. Hi, Grad, good to see you. Also, look, Dave was very nice to say that we have his permission. Hi, Moonlight Wanderer, thank you. So, recap. Federally copyright your book. Protect yourself in all corners. Okay, perfect. And then, to get that copyright page, search up copyright in a fiction book template. I recommend the one from Kindlepreneur. It covers it. Oh, that's a good question. Let me pull up... Winterberry, that's a good question. I'm gonna pull up TKC's, what I wrote for TKC, because I forget where I got it from, but it was copied and pasted and I have no idea where or from where, so I think this is it. Thank you, Rebecca, because I don't know how to navigate it on mobile. Hello, Daisy. Again, now we're waiting for the book to download from my cloud, and it's a bit of a big book, so this could take a while. How's y'all day? How you doing? Miss Tosato is cold today. We're gonna be here a long while. Alright, perfect. Can't even download my own book. This is lovely. It is very cold. Is it cold where y'all are at? It's like we're getting, I know, like, basically all of America is undergoing a winter storm, and now even my state has gotten through it, has been going through it. I'm so sorry, Daisy. R.I.P. Daisy for the schoolwork. Okay, what about the EPUB? Oh, we're getting EPUB. We're gonna. Thank you, whatchamacallits. It's another Dark Academia playlist. Snowed in. That's yikes. I am sorry for that. Oh boy. Hello? Yeah, sorry y'all. This was taking forever because apparently I can't write a normal size book. We're getting there though. We are getting there. Okay, I've gotten it, except now I have to do another tab. Give me a second. Okay, we're gonna go here. Okay. Window. Yeah, books and my book. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So, here is TKC's no AI training clause. There you go. Just right there. No snow days, yeah, then it's a little bit unfun. 50-degree weather is considered summer. I want to live there. So this is what you want to put down if you want to protect your book further with AI trading. No AI trading without in any way limiting the author's and publisher's exclusive rights under copyright. Any use of this publication to train generative artificial intelligence technologies to generate text is expressly prohibited. So, there you go. 50 degrees Celsius sounds like we would all be dead. So I think it's Fahrenheit. And then you got all your regular other copyright stuff. So y'all will have the VODs available, so I'm not going to stay on this for too long, but that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do for your TKC copyright. Or for your for your no AI trading copyright. I did use Mibble art for my cover. Yes, I actually won it in a giveaway. God bless them. I think, yeah. We're gonna... There you go. Sorry. Okay, so next up, another question people had was getting ISBNs in order. Very understandable. So here's the thing. I don't know if we've ever talked about getting your own ISBNs for your book. So really quick crash course. You want to get an ISBN, your own ISBN for your books. You don't want the free ones from KDP or Ingram Spark, my goodness, because that's going to immediately tell retailers, libraries, places like Barnes & Noble, just anywhere, that you are indie published, and a lot of places like that have a policy against self-published books. So when you get your own ISBN, when you pay for them via Bowker, yes, they are very pricey. It's $125 for one. It's like $300 for 10. Price goes up and up. Get them in a bundle. But that ISBN is attached to your own imprint. Imprint, to put it terribly, is basically the house that you are publishing under. So now you are technically published, but you're now published under a small press, a small house, which is yourself, or which is you. And that immediately ups your credibility to retailers, to libraries, to anybody who wants to sell your book or host you for an event. That's why you want to get your own ISBNs. Transitioning that into generating your own ISBN codes or your own barcodes, because Bowker will also try to sell you the barcode. You don't want to buy Bowker's barcode when you can generate them for free with Bookow. This website, lovely website right here. Just literally look up Bookow ISBN barcode generator, and then bam, you put in your ISBN here. You can, to look extra professional, you can put in how much your book costs so that it looks just like this, the US $9.98, $50, $9.98, just for a little touch of professionalism. Send it, or type in your email address that you want them to send it to. Consent, email the PDF. You can email the PNG, the DPI, which is the resolution that you want for your ISBN, and bam, you got yourself a professional looking ISBN that you didn't have to pay for, because you really don't have to pay for them. With nothing against Bowker. I think it's called Bowker. It's just, I don't see why you would pay for them when you can just generate the barcode right here. And then you're going to attach this barcode to your cover, the back of your cover, or get your cover designer to do it, whatever you need. But you need the ISBN 13 first, and again, highly, 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 highly recommend you buy them instead of getting the free ones from KDP or Ingram Spark. Katie, when you buy your ISBNs from Bowker, it's just like with the Copyright Office, you have your own account, and you have to set up your own imprint and house with Bowker under your account, and so it has all of them right there in front of you, because you have to assign a book to to each individual ISBN, which, by the way, little tangent, fun fact, every single edition of your book requires a new ISBN. So TKC, for example, one book, one story, has four different ISBNs. That's for the paperback, the hardback, the ebook, and then the paperback dyslexic friendly edition. Yeah, exactly, Akila. The ISBN changes for every book, for every format of the book. So, for example, the EA series, which is available in paperback and ebook across the whole thing, 5 books, I need 10 ISBNs for. Which is why, if you have the extra money or you can get a loan, I highly recommend that you just ask somebody for the money, like ask if they can loan you the money. I'm gonna take this down a little bit. Ah! My bad. I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit. Perfect. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of lag on my end. But, yeah, so that's ISBNs. That's copyright. Yay! Any questions? Just kidding. If you have questions, leave it in the questions tab for the Q&A. Okay. I wish that there could be audiobooks, but one audiobook costs about $4,000 to make, and I do not have $24,000 for audiobooks right now, but maybe one day. Okay, we are now on to the last topic that was input into the discussion tab, which is marketing. And yes, I'm going to be using my own channel because what else am I supposed to do? Use Abby Emmons? Yeah, yeah. Getting audiobooks for all of my books right now costs the same as somebody's salary somewhere in the US. Kelp, do you mean the EA series? Because I did have that on my, I did have the EA dyslexic friendly editions on my radar. I just haven't had the time or dedication available yet. But hi, Jem, told ya. We just got done with copyright and ISBNs, and now we're on to marketing. So I'm gonna start y'all off with a little bit of a story time. So let me go to my oldest shorts, and we're gonna not laugh at them, okay? Because I've already laughed at them. You don't need to. I've already done it for myself. It's okay. So Parker, I'm gonna answer your question with my story time. So a couple of years ago, I depended solely on Instagram to market my books, and that was not working. Something in me just said, you should probably go to why don't you just try going to, what's it called? I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of, hi Zora, it's good to see you. Okay, I'm locking in. I'm gonna lock in right now and let y'all know. I will pray for your exam, cute princess. I'm very sorry you have an exam today. That's yeah. From the map one. Oh, you know what? I've done multiple map ones, so I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. But let me see if I can. Cool, I can. Okay. Widespread. I'm restarting my story time. So, chat, you're distracting me yet again. Up until a couple of years ago, I depended solely on Instagram to carry my whole marketing strategy, and that was, let's just say it wasn't working out anymore. So I said, you know what, I have a YouTube account, I might as well try to push myself forward on another platform, even if it didn't yield the best results. So I did that. I got onto YouTube, I started posting shorts, and then all of a sudden I post this one right here, let's see, can y'all even see that? Okay, yeah. I published this, or did this one right here. And this was my very first YouTube short that got a little bit of attention. I think it capped at around 23,000 views, and that was huge for me, and I started getting subscribers. What do you know? And then, I posted this one, which was the very first time I ever went viral on YouTube. That was pretty crazy. And that was when I found my niche. I was like, okay, sketches, skit types, that might be it. Like, just talking face to face to the camera. Might be it. Thank you, Zora. I really appreciate the kind words. And then I decided to keep going from there. And what do you know? Now YouTube, as you can see, is my biggest platform that I exist on and I create on, which is absolutely just insanity to me. How did I get here? Well, first of all, the YouTube algorithm seems to be a lot nicer than the TikTok or the Instagram algorithms. It seems to be more generous as long as you know what to feed it. And when I say that, I mean YouTube is looking for videos that, well, all social media platforms are looking for videos that keep people on the app, that keep people engaged, inspire them to engage, because if they're engaging, they're on the app for longer. Katie, we don't bring up the creative insults. I deleted all of those videos. So yeah, I suggest, if you think you can handle it, because it is a lot, and I can barely handle it, but I just do it anyway, which is terrible advice, so just be very, very careful how you navigate social media. Get yourself on as many platforms as you can handle. I'm on Threads, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And Threads and TikTok, I post and then I dip, because I can't take much more than that. But get yourself out there on any platform that you think you can manage, because one algorithm may favor you a lot more so than the others that you're on, which is what happened with me and YouTube. And now all of you are here, and it's so great. I love that y'all loved the clean insult videos, but that was garnering a lot of negative attention, and I'm like, nobody needs to be here. Ooh, marketing free character design. That'll get you going. But okay, so the point being to the whole thing about marketing is that you gotta, this is my biggest tip to people who aren't seeing results for their videos. You gotta learn from your mistakes, and you gotta be willing to change your delivery style, because the biggest thing is that I see people posting too much of what they want to post and not enough of what other people want to see. Which, by the way, this advice is if you want to market yourself because you're trying to establish a business and a professional brand as an author, and you want to take this as you want to consider this as a career path. Well, this is how you do it. You can't post what you want to post so much, or more so than you post what other people want to see. And what do other people want to see? They want to see good lighting. They want to see a personable creator. They want to see somebody who's passionate and high energy sometimes. They want to see somebody who is creating this consistent type of content that they can expect and that they can stick with, and they want somebody who's familiar. They want high quality videos. Sometimes they want cinematography, whatever it may be. It's just, you gotta really be willing to sacrifice a little bit for quality. Or hello, I'm so concerned people are gonna take what I'm saying out of context, but yeah, one short hit 1K. That is a big deal, Katie, because before that short on that first TKC short on YouTube, mine did not hit 1K. So what else do people want to see? Well, the big piece of advice, second big piece of advice I have when it comes to marketing yourself is you have to make people care. You have to give people a reason to care about your book, because this is a hard truth I don't think anybody acknowledges, but a lot of us are publishing books. A lot of us are writing books. A lot of us have really great OCs that we absolutely adore and we're attached to. But here's the thing, when you have a market in which everybody is doing the same thing, well, now it's like that saying, how if everybody is special, then nobody is. Same thing, if we're all writing a book, then it's it's like, well, beforehand we were caring because you were doing something really hard. You were doing something that was unique, but now all of us are doing that. And so it's like a lot of people have the attitude when they're going through these shorts and these reels about somebody who wrote a book. They're thinking like, okay, I've seen the same thing from a million other people. But therefore, what makes your book so different? Why should I care about your characters, about your story, your plot? And that's your marketing. That's what you need to market. You don't market the fact that you wrote a book. You don't market the fact that you're publishing a book. You market a story that nobody's heard of before, that nobody has read yet. You market what's different about you and why people should follow your journey, because, well, it's not like anything they've seen or already encountered before on social media. You're giving them something to follow because they don't know what's going to happen, because this has never been done before. So yeah, when it comes to marketing yourself, show people what they want to see, and that doesn't just mean content, but that means visual quality as well, as in good lighting and good visuals, clear visuals. Number 2, I actually just lost. Oh yeah, give people a reason to care about your book, your story, your characters. That's why a lot of you guys showed up, because, well, some of y'all showed up for the clean insults. Some people are here because they find non-explicit authors becoming rarer and rarer, and that's really nice to know that I'm somebody that y'all feel like you can trust for sure. But that was your reason to care about me, because I'm producing the content that you want to see. Sorry, I tried to understand the drawing tutorials. Yeah, drawing tutorials. If you get a style that people really vibe with, Parker, I think you could easily garner an audience with that. I wouldn't say that social media is necessary for publishing a new book. It's just that, because I tried it for a month. And no, it's not necessary, because how did self-published authors do it in the centuries before? Because I think Charles Dickens was a self-published author. I think Jane Austen was a self-published author. And it's possible to get yourself out there, but it's ridiculously hard. So social media is how we take advantage of opportunities that we have to not take the easy way, because this is by no means easy, but to use resources trying to aid the process. So I appreciate your kind words, Parker. So yeah, not necessary, it's just highly advised, because you're going, again, it's not easy, but you're going to make things easier on yourself. And yeah, if you do want to do traditional publishing, you want to garner an audience, a decent sized audience, because publishing houses will look at that and use that to determine, like, okay, well, we're not just trying to market the book. Yes, they are trying to market the book, but we also need to know that we have an author that we can market, that we can market the author as well. Because to publishing houses, that means you're a $. Bye, Rebecca. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Okay, so I think that's all I have for marketing. Does anybody have any questions on marketing? Particularly, because if not, I'ma just do that, and you can't see anything that I am doing, and that's fine. I'm gonna do this. Don't calm down. It's fine. It's just my face. I know that's really scary to some people, but it's okay. And then I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna actually do this. Do it queso style. Nobody. There we go. Okay. So now, okay, that was our 3 topics for In Class with Ariana. We're gonna jump right into questions now. Oh my gondola, why are there so many questions, you guys? Okay, give me a second. Oh my gondola, I forgot. Look it. I have a guest here. Wait, nope. I just tried to move my monitor. Okay, wait, I got this. No, I don't. Okay. Look it! He's a kitten, baby! Kitten! Sophie girl! It's a baby girl! Okay, sorry. Anyway. Okay, let me get this. Okay, I can select questions. Let me see. Can I select questions? Okay, cool. Out of curiosity, thank you for the easy question. If my two main characters had a voice, which character will it be closest to? SFM, I'm gonna need you to elaborate. I don't think I understand. Yes, Kitty. Kitty cat. Loveliest kitten ever. Perfect. I'm sorry, SFM, I don't understand your question. Which is how the rest... That was a quote that I commonly encountered in my real school. Okay, let me see. Let's select this one. Am I ever gonna do the jelly bean video again? I cannot believe you found that one. It's like my oldest video that I have on my channel, but I'm probably not, just because I don't really have a purpose for it, do I? It's probably not, but I did want to do another assumptions video. I just don't know which one, like how to do that. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to delete that. I just meant to remove it so that I know. Okay, I'm gonna delete all the questions as I answer them, just so we know. How much world building do we put in chapter 1 itself, and how do we balance it with characters and plot? That's a really loaded question. I'm so sorry. I could give you a 10-minute video on just that in itself, but if I had to put it in a nutshell, it all comes down to that advice of like just enough. You don't want to overload your reader, but you also want to make sure that they have enough to understand what is going on. You want them to be asking questions about the world, but not so many questions that they eventually lose interest because, well, no questions are being answered. You gotta drop the crumbs and give them enough to stay interested. I would go on a gauge of what is absolutely necessary for them to understand the scene right now. And once you give your reader just that amount of information and you're like, wait, they don't know what this one particular thing is, should I explain that right now in this first chapter? Well, if you can explain it in a later chapter, I would suggest doing so, because like I said, you don't want to overwhelm your reader, but you also don't want to underwhelm them. So if you are able to explain things later on, then do so. In a very early edition of Oh My, it got a 3-star review because I was a horrible info dumper, and well, we long since fixed that. Just curious what they would sound. But what do you mean? I'm sorry, I just don't understand what you're saying. Do you mean voice claims? Oh, voice claims. Okay, yeah, I have no idea. I've never thought of it, and I also don't watch movies, and I don't watch movies and media enough to identify to like know actors and everything. So I'm sorry, I'm useless to answering that. Did I just... Okay, cool. I'm going to remove that question. Okay. Let me see. Select this one. How do you deal with lack of motivation? I've been in a depressive episode and it's extremely hard to simply write a sentence. Oh, Katie. Well, I'm sending you the biggest hug right now, and I'm really sorry to hear about that because I too went through that. When it comes to lack of motivation, it's why I can't write any story that I'm not absolutely obsessed with. And that's why I have so few. I only have 2 book worlds out right now, even though I've been doing this for a few years. I only have 2 book worlds because I've only encountered 2 book ideas that I was obsessed with to the extent that like I had to see it on the shelf, and that always kept me going. Whenever I lost motivation, it was really hard. I kind of just waited it out. Like I really did. And I did what made me happy in the moment to just carry myself through each day. I think that matters most when you're in that kind of episode. You have to listen to your body and what it's telling you it absolutely needs. And if all it needs right now is to just get through the next day, then that's what you do. That's what you just listen to that, pretty please. um and that's my biggest piece of advice is to listen to yourself right now, because you never know what's going to happen by chance and bring you out of that. Oh, hi Parker. Okay, I'm trying to make this what's it called, proportional, but it keeps changing on me. I hope that helps, Katie, and if it doesn't, feel free to email me and we can talk further about it, like one-on-one and not in front of a bunch of people. um Get out of here. I don't want to see you. Not all of you. I want to see you, but not my Q&A thing. Select question. How do I make my MC flawed but lovable? You gotta, so it's just like, well, with any other person, I'm gonna try to nutshell all of these questions just for sake of time, because I do have somewhere to be and I have to take a shower like ASAP. But it's just like with everybody that you know in real life. Why do you love certain people that you do in real life, even though they are flawed? Well, they have flaws, but at their heart of hearts, they're a good person. They have redeeming qualities that make them worth keeping around, worth hanging out with, and worth cultivating a relationship with. So you do the same thing with your characters. Yes, they are going to have flaws, of course, but they're going to have a lot of redeeming qualities that make people care about them and want to read about them. That's the most concisely I've ever spoken. Okay. What really defines a well-crafted antagonist that is a mother? Oh my goodness, that's exactly what Alexa is. What? How can her character be fleshed out without sounding like a male cutout? Interesting. I'm not sure I understand your question either. Just like the part about how can her character be fleshed out without sounding like a male cutout, because I'm a firm believer that if your character is fleshed out, period, like he or she has her own quirks and dreams and responses and reactions and mannerisms and whatnot, then you can't risk them sounding like a cutout, because if they're their own person, well, they're not formed based off of an archetype. They're formed based off of like who they are as a person. So it's like, just give them a realistic motivation and want. Oh my goodness, my music is dead. I just realized that. Just give them a realistic want and motive, desire, whatever it may be, and craft them realistically. And you should be good to go. An antagonist just always has to have a realistic reason for working against the protagonist. Can you make any changes to your manuscript after copywriting it? So, great question. Yes, but they have to be pretty minimal. Like, if you're going to change typos, that's fine. If you're going to change the syntax a little bit, the structure of a sentence or the wording, totally fine. I think even if you're going to, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. If they're pretty minimal changes, then yes. If you're thinking about changing the entire plot or the development, swapping characters around, all things like that, then you technically, in federal law, in those eyes, you have a new story and you'd have to copyright that one. It wouldn't be the same book anymore. So minimal changes, yes, but really big developmental changes, no. What are the types of copyright pages? Katie, I think she's gone. Wait, Katie, are you gone? I haven't seen the chat in a while. Katie is still here. Sorry. Katie is actually just returned. So, do you know... And her question's gone anyway. Well, I apologize. What is my cat's name? Her name is Sophie. We call her Princess Sophie, but her name is just Sophie. Frankie, you said how do you plan your book and how do you get it published? Both of those are, I'm afraid, a little bit too broad for me to answer in this live stream. But planning a book, if you're still listening, Just do this. Just search up the Novel Factory's step-by-step guide on how to write a novel. Literally do that. That's what I'm doing for Mansion Book. Has changed my life, and it's gotten the pages, or like gotten the story down, the planning down. The Novel Factory's step-by-step guide on how to write a novel. They're going to take really good care of you. How long would you suggest for world building? World building doesn't depend on how long you've been at it. It depends on the content, because technically, like, I could be working on one kingdom in TKC out of the 7 for 5 years, but I still haven't gotten to the other 6 kingdoms yet. Or I could work on that one kingdom for 3 days and I could get the same amount of... It just all depends on how much you're investing into it. So yeah, just world building all depends on the content that you're actually getting down for it. So if you're going to, like I said earlier, just plan until build enough of the world, like that you know just enough about it to get your draft down. If that's your goal. Like if you just need to get drafting right now, plan until you know just enough to get started, because your book's never going to be written if you are stuck in the planning phase. Bye, Katie. I hope you have a great night. Let's see, there are a lot of questions, and I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to... Oh, Kelp, thank you for purchasing the book. That means a lot to me. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get to all of these questions because I have to leave within the next 8 minutes. So let's see if we can rapid fire these things. Is pursuing journalism in college worth it? I would have no idea about that. I'm sorry, Daisies. I took a journalism class once in 6th grade and that's it. I have no idea if it's worth it in college. For some people it is, for some people it's not. Ooh, this is a good one. Deja, I believe this is your, that's how you pronounce it. To someone who's starting to promote their book on YouTube and that's broke, I was the same way. I literally I had no money. I still have no money. I do not promote my content on YouTube via advertisement or anything because of that. It's all like I said, you gotta give people content that they want to see, and that includes not just the type of content, but also visual quality. You gotta give them a reason to care about your book and your story. And you also, I didn't mention this earlier, but you really gotta engage. You gotta be personable and show them that you don't see your readers, you don't see your potential readers and your audience as a bunch of dollar signs. You see them as real people, and you're grateful to them that they're wanting to engage with something that you created. Like, that's amazing that they're willing to invest their limited time in what you have to offer. So just be that personable, be engaging with them, authentically so, and all that other good stuff I said. And eventually you should get your break. Ooh, how to successfully, accurately, civilly write dual languages or cultures in a book that isn't your culture. This question deserves a lot more of a weighted answer than I'm about to give, and it deserves a lot more time than what I can give it. But again, nutshell, just avoid harmful stereotypes. Avoid stereotypes in general if you can. And do a lot of research on this culture. Like, don't go based off of what you think you know. Go based off of what you actually do know. Get into testimonies. Get into people engaging with that culture online or in videos or whatever it may be. Just do the research on that culture so that you do avoid those harmful stereotypes and anything unrealistic. Ooh, this is a good one. Whatchamacallits, if you're still in here. Do I choose the publishing house that promotes and sends the books to bookstores but wants you to pay a considerable amount, or do you wait for the answer from a smaller one that could not request money? That is a very personal decision, and it sounds like the first one's a hybrid house. Hybrid publishing is very iffy ground for a lot of people. It's not personally the route that I want to go with, but if you don't have the budget for that right now, I would wait for the smaller house. that wouldn't request money. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I would just you do got to protect your budget and invest everything right now long term. It's all going to be a long term decision. Hi, whatchamacallit. So I hope you heard all of that. um, yeah, I can see live chat from here. Perfect. Okay, great. Personally, I would wait on the smaller house because I can't afford any considerable fees based on a risk. Does that make sense? Like, there's a chance you can do really great things for me, but I don't have enough money for a gamble right now. Winterberry, how do you continue your plot when it feels like you can't come up with anything? If you are still here, I ran into this issue with plotting Mansion Book very recently. It was hard. It was ridiculously hard. Fall back on this formula though. Every scene should cause the next scene. And in other words, your plot should be not a chain, but it should be a link of causal events. As in, this happens, and so this event causes this event, which causes this event, so on and so forth. But also, you want to get in a few scenes in there as well, where it's not just events causing each other, but also you get because then you're going to get all proactivity and nothing happening like by chance, which is very unrealistic in my opinion. Start asking yourself, if you run into that, what can happen on its own? What obstacle or disaster can suddenly spring forward and the characters don't see it coming, and now it's like they gotta redirect paths? Who's working in the dark, who's secretly working against the main character, so on and so forth. So yeah, just make sure that each scene is causing the next one, is developing and pushing the story forward in some way, and ask yourself, well, what can happen on its own? And what can just disrupt everything? My throat is getting sore. I think I answered that one. Deja, you said, how would I promote a book that's based heavily on grief and PTSD? That's a very good question, because you gotta handle that marketing very sensitively. You do not want to come across as like, I wrote this book with these really heavy themes so I could make a quick buck on it. And so I could capitalize on other people's suffering and trauma, which I don't think you're doing, but hence why you ask the question. You want to market that in terms of like, you want to reach out to the people who have gone through that, and you want them to know that they're not alone, that they are seen, and that there's a story out there to help them feel less alone and to help comfort them and let them know that their struggles are seen. Just talk directly to that audience and let them know that you're here, your characters are here, your books are here, because you wanted to give them a story that would comfort them amid those trying times. So I hope that helps. So Parker, ending on a cliffhanger with a semi-happy ending that hints at the next book. This is, I don't believe that there is an objective answer. Just a highly recommended answer. If you're not going to get the next book out until over a year later, I don't know if a cliffhanger is the best way to go. But partially because I've come across a lot of indie books. I've made a lot of indie friends over the years where they did that, and then they disappeared off the face of the earth, and they still haven't come back, and now their books are on cliffhangers, and they're never going to be resolved. So if you have a game plan to publish the next book under a year from the next one, then I would say go ahead and with that cliffhanger, because if you want to keep your readers in. Otherwise, you are good to go with the semi-happy ending. It all depends on, like, well, no, it doesn't all depend, but it depends on just the lasting message that you want to leave with your readers, and if you're actually going to be around to finish the story. Nobody take EA as an example, because when I wrote that series or started writing it, I wanted the cliffhangers because I wanted to give the readers a reason to keep reading the next book. and I thought it was going to be the only thing I was going to ever write, and then TKC, and now Mansion book, and now the next book's not going to be out until maybe next year. But yeah. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try to do one more. My throat is giving out on me. Sorry, I'm coming across a lot of them I already read. Rebecca's... Oh, Pi! Is Pi here? Let me see. Where's Pi? Hi, Pi! It's great to see you! Very happy to see you. Oh, my gondola, there's so many more questions. See, this is a time that it's time to go pretty soon. Did that one. Okay, so I think Tamima, I think that's how I pronounce. Hi, Froggy. I think that's how you pronounce your name. You asked what was my publishing journey. A friend is trying to publish a finished novel, but publishing companies keep telling that they are looking for certain themes and not necessarily middle grade YA fantasy. So in that case, I don't know if you're in the US, but if you are in the US, then that typically means that your friend is querying to the wrong agents and to the wrong publishers, because publishers are looking for middle grade and YA fantasy. A lot of them are, but if the ones that your friend is querying to, if they're not, well, then they're not, and nothing can really be done about that. But that's why you want an agent working specifically in your genre that knows how to market that book, because then that agent knows the publishing house is looking for that genre as well. My friend Lauren has an agent right now for a middle grade book, a middle grade fantasy. Ergo, yeah, just make sure that make sure your friend is doing their research on the agents that they're querying and the publishing houses that they are soliciting, because if the publishing house, as I've come across, blatantly says we are not accepting books of this genre, well, it's going to be a really big red flag to them. If your friend solicits them for their book and it's part of that genre anyway, and they're like, you didn't even read about our publishing house genre acceptance policies. So chat, Miss Rebecca. Yeah, how's everyone's attendance record? Good question. Am I a plotter or a pantser? I am now a diehard plotter. Like, I don't think I will ever be able to write a single book ever again pantsing it. It stresses me out so much. I don't understand how I did it with EA. Or at least the first 3 books with EA. Yeah, I did it with the first 3 books of EA. I don't understand how. Diehard plotter all the way. Alright, so Tamima, going straight to publishers is another iffy thing, just because most publishing houses, as far as I am aware, they do not accept unrepresented requests at all, which is why we tend to get agents, because agents do have access to publishing houses, whereas typically we don't. But yeah, yeah, okay. So I would highly suggest that your friend just, like, if she really wants to go that route, just keep doing the publishing house route if she feels like that's for her, but she's got to do her research on what houses are accepting that genre, because unfortunately publishing houses do not care how great our idea is unless it's presented the right way or by the right person, or just it's a very slippery slope and you have to do everything exactly right. But it's also ridiculously hard to get published by a publishing house in the first place. So even if she faces 100 rejections, which has happened before to many authors, if she believes that a publishing house is the way for her to go, just give her that encouragement. Tell her to keep going, because she just needs one yes. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there because we've been doing this for a long time, but I want to say thank y'all so much for coming to the stream. I really don't know if we're gonna do another one of these again, but bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much for, again, 40,000 subscribers, because that is absolutely insane. Like, that's just crazy. But I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. It was wonderful to host this session with you, and yeah. Bye bye. Stay warm amid all the snow. Have a wonderful rest of your night.